Welcome back to Sandlot and the Crew, where Sandlot Radio Show meets Wrecking Yard Baseball and Softball. I'm your host, Will Kiger, a.k.a. Wrecking Yard Will, and this is the part 2 story of A.J. Schugel, Andrew Jeffrey Schugel, not John Shannon Tad Powers.
Damn.
He messed that up.
It up. Sorry, Schug. Sorry, Jeffrey Schugel.
We had to get that right. But yes, this is part 2. Go check out part 1 if you haven't seen it. This segment, we're going to touch a little bit on his Sandlot childhood stories and days, his big league career, and then we're going to get into the Baseball United stuff. So I wanted to start with, the Sandlot days. You have a dad who is a former professional player and is still a major league scout. What was that like growing up with a dad who is so highly involved in the game? Did he ever coach you? Did you guys have that father-son, but over here it's coach-son? Talk to me a little bit about that relationship in the game growing up.
Well, that's had that too. I'm sure it was similar. I think obviously when we were younger, it was majority of the coaching came from him, and then kind of as we got older, it was more hands off for sure. Where it's like you kind of have your own thing, you have enough going on. If I see something, I'll let you know. But it was definitely all baseball, and he seen it a lot more than I had, so he'd give me some input now and then for sure. And then they actually, my parents thought I was going to pick hockey over baseball. Coming out of high school. Yeah,
he was way into hocky.
And
I saw a lot of your hockey games too, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know why I was wise beyond my years, but at the time I was like, there's just more places to go with baseball. Even now, I don't even know how hockey works really, but there's a lot more schools that have baseball and hockey. I know that. So,
yeah, I don't see your dad being that. Just from my brief interaction, because like the kind of guy who'd be on the sidelines, like, "Damn it, AJ," doing that stuff. So, how old were you when you started playing baseball? Did you always love it right out the gate? Was it like, I want to do this because dad does it? Or, when did you realize, like, I love baseball, this is something I want to take serious and really pursue?
I feel like every little kid, you ask them, any kid that plays sports, what do you want to do when you get older? And I want to be a baseball player. I want to be a football player. And that's kind of where it was at the time. And I remember I'd joke around and bullshit with my buddies and be like, I want to be a big leaguer. That's what I'm going to do. And, I would say, I loved it. I always loved it. I loved hockey and baseball. Those were my two things. It became a lot more real, high school, college. Some guys, stop loving it. So it's definitely a grind, but it's definitely worth it.
And we talked about in the segment prior to this, there was a junior college tournament that you were in and Bryce Harper's team was in, and you hit just as many, maybe if not even more home runs than Bryce. So in high school, did you always have that kind of power? Like, what were you like as a high school player, and when did you just start hitting nukes like that?
That was just a special week in Lamar.
That weekend, when the wind was blowing out and the aluminum bats came out, AJ came out with the power.
I don't know. We probably should fact check that. I know I was right around with him. Obviously, he's still doing it. But
I think that you hit 12 and he hit 14.
Oh, I think that's high. I think it was like 7, 8, 9.
No,
I don't know.
dude,
I don't know where the numbers are, but I know I ended my last at bat there with a home run.
Your dad was there watching. He called me and was going, dude, they're going off. The wind's blowing out. AJ's got 7 homers. Bryce has got 8.
It was howling. It was howling out. But going back to that first part of your question, lost train of thought again. What was that?
So I'll simplify it. So how many home runs did you hit in high school? you always have that kind of power? Did you get to college, get stronger, or what?
No, I was a late bloomer. I was smaller in high school. Kind of started filling out a little bit in college, and like I said, that was a special. That was just a special week in Lamar, and obviously the scouts didn't think that was going to last. So,
Well, that's still a really cool story and something to be proud of. Something you can definitely, tell your kids, going head to head with one of the greatest in the game right now, and more than likely a future Hall of Famer. I mean, 7, 8, 10, 12 home runs in one weekend, no matter how many it was, is an absolute shitload of home runs. So I imagine you're being a little humble right now. Probably had a little more pop than you want to admit. But I don't see guys just hitting singles and doubles and then one weekend hitting 10 freaking home runs. So
it just got hot. I got hot at the right time.
He
yeah,
did.
that's
I'll
what it's
never
about.
forget. His dad called me. It was nuts. And he was all excited because he thought that was gonna, secure you as a position player, and you end up on the mound anyway. That's just how it all rolls.
I
And
was just
I remember a time I came to a hockey game. Me and your dad came with Pat Doherty, and Hurdle was there. Do you remember Hurdle coming to watch you play hockey as a kid?
I don't remember that. I remember you were there.
You remember Doherty, of course.
I remember Doherty. Yeah.
Yeah. Hurdle
I
came
mean,
to one of those games, dude, and it was when Schug was still working with the Rockies, and he was not the manager. He might have been like the hitting coach or something.
I thought, and then it went for full circle, which was
Yeah, you went and
at the
played
end.
for him.
Yeah, so that was pretty wild.
Not only did you play for him, but that was your best season.
Yeah, I mean those 2 years there before the shoulders started acting up. Uh, Again, I don't know. Some people have asked me that too, like what changed, from Angels to the Diamondbacks or the Diamondbacks to Pittsburgh, and I don't really have an answer for them. It was just kind of just found my footing, in the bullpen, and nothing to lose really. You got there and go do you and see what happens.
Well, when you think about that season, AJ, 32 games, and you had a 1.97 ERA and a 4.0 record. That's the kind of numbers that keep you around. That's all you need to do as a reliever to stay. And it shows you how hard it is, though, to stay.
So that was 17, and I actually thought I threw much better in 16, even though the numbers weren't as good. The ERA was obviously better, but I had a few more atom balls for sure, and shoulder was kind of hanging on by a thread there at the end. And so going into like September, I think I was like, I just want to stay below 2. This would be an epic year for me. And I was thinking the same way as you're thinking. I was like, you finish this year under 2, like hopefully have something locked up and have a spot in 18. You're not going to spring training like thinking about it. You're gonna get optioned and this and that, and then the shoulder stuff that happened, and yeah, that's what, like you said, the numbers are there, but teams look at that injury history, and yeah, it is what it is.
So it was the shoulder that really scared him off because, yeah, looking at these numbers, I'm like, man, that's tremendous numbers. You think there would be, a continuation with those numbers. And by the way, it looks like you did have about 20 more strikeouts in 16 than 17. So I could see why you felt like you pitched better. It looked like, only played a couple more games too. Um, but yeah, so I guess it must have been that shoulder injury because those are tremendous numbers to put up in the big league. That's definitely something to be proud of without a doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and AJ, the lifetime shit, too, when you think about being 6-2 lifetime with a 3.19, hey, just leave it right there. If you never go back, that is solid. And I'm so proud of you.
thank you. Once you get a taste, though, you could. I know I could do it. Like I did it, and it's like, why? Just give me a chance. Like if my shoulder blows out, I'll I'll leave. You don't have to pay the bills, and it's not the way it works. But And that's why it finally bounced back in 20, and picked it back up, and I had a chance with the Mets in 21, and just never, half shoulder, half just not throwing well. And it's funny, like even now, I'll just be like, God, my arm feels good. Like, but once you're kind of out of sight, out of mind type thing, and just keep going wherever they want me.
Well, hey, the last couple of years playing in Milwaukee with the Milkmen and then going down to Mexico, that was enough to get noticed by Baseball United. And let's talk about that opportunity and the future of that, not just for AJ, but for other guys in baseball, and how cool that this dude Cash is for giving people this opportunity.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience. It's an awesome opportunity. I know we're all looking forward to see how big it could get. That was that 2 weeks ago. The little week we were out there, played a couple games, and I mean it's fun. It's just trying to get the excitement to a region that's never seen the game. So for us to kind of be the first ones to make history and see what happens was really cool.
Well, we've lately coined a phrase. You know how with superheroes you got caped crusaders. Well, when you go to another country and you bring baseball to that country, you're a capped crusader. And AJ, you now are one of those guys because you've been going to Mexico. Now you're taking the shit to Dubai, where
We're
they play
international.
cricket. They play cricket over there. And the people don't realize, but the most watched event worldwide of any sporting event is World Cup cricket. And people are like, no way. Well,
I
guess
find that
what? There's 2
incredibly hard to believe.
billion people between India and all those countries where they play it. And it's not half the country that pays attention to it, it's 100% of the country. So when that shit's on, there's 2 billion people watching.
Well, you flip through the channels and it's cricket. It's the only sport that's on TV. I
Really?
mean, we learned that we went we went for our honeymoon last year. I was flipping through to see. I was like, do they have anything on here? And it's just cricket. That's the sport there. And I don't know. I tried to learn the rules when I was last week or 2 weeks ago, and I still don't really understand it. But
No one does.
yeah, you
I
get
spent 14 years in Australia and I do understand it, but now they're changing rules to make it more exciting. Because the old rules were fucking slow and brutal. It's
all I
five
heard is
days,
it could last 5 days.
5 days, and not end up with the result. They could
Right.
end up with the 5 day draw. And it's like, come on now.
That
And then there was
And
something where if you didn't get a hit, you're out for the game. So you just sit on the bench for 4 days or something.
oh, yeah, you're done. If you're out like a duck, man, you take
Yeah,
one swing, you're out, you never play again. And yeah, they take tea, morning tea, and then they have a lunch break, afternoon tea, and this shit goes on for 8 hours for 5 days.
jeez.
But guess what? In India and Australia and Pakistan and Sri Lanka, every TV is glued to that
yeah.
shit.
That was it's like all the sports channels were wherever there, and it was just cricket, 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 cricket. And so I tried to pay attention. I still don't. I do know it could last 5 days. I do know if you're out, and you just sit there. And I was like, this is wild.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of interesting rules, I've heard there's some interesting rules over there in Baseball United as far as a money ball. I'm
You
not
don't
sure.
want the money ball when you're pitching, do you?
So yeah, there are, 3 money balls for each team per game, and if you hit a homer on the money ball, it's double. I think it's homers only. I'm pretty sure it's homers only. So
So
I
that
don't
can
know if
kill
that
an
came from.
ERA. Imagine you come in out of the pen and you're the reliever that gets the money ball and you got the bases loaded and you give, well, I guess no, those aren't your runs, but let's just say you just give up a jack and instead of being 1 run it's 2. Man, that's killing some ERAs.
I said to someone, I was like, this is going to kill my baseball reference page if someone takes me deep right now. But I came into the game with bases loaded, one out, and I got back-to-back money balls. So it's like,
Oh,
welcome to the game.
so you
So
could have given up 8 runs.
Yeah.
so
Wow.
with the money ball, is it the team can decide to use it at any point, or is it at any point they just say this is our money ball?
Yeah. Usually runners on, you got, you know,
Good
anywhere
hitter
you're at,
up.
really. But yeah, say it's the middle of your lineup, you're going to use it.
Wow.
Okay, that's interesting. Is there any other rules that are kind of, not normal baseball rules, or is that really the only thing?
That was the only thing. And I'm not even sure if that is going to continue on or not.
Hmm.
If it does, I think the pitcher should get something. If we strike you out with the money ball, like
Yeah,
we
no
get out of the
kidding.
inning or something, I don't know.
Yeah, it's 2 outs.
Yeah, double the
Yeah.
outs, I don't know.
So, another question about this new league. You got all these really big name ex professional major league players in on the ownership. Some of them are still playing, the ones that aren't tapped out age wise. And they're given opportunities to, young prospects to go and make some money. Does this affect their status? If you're on a major league contract, can you go play in this league and not have it affect your status?
Well, that's above my pay grade. I know no one there 2 weeks ago was affiliated with any MLB clubs. I know some played this year, but were free agents at the time. So I'm not sure if in the future it's going to be, like a winter league in Mexico or Dominican or Venezuela or Australia or whatever, or if it was non-affiliated guys, wanting to keep playing. I'm sure, thinking about it, it'd get to the point where if, your 4A guys or, lifelong minor leaguers, they'll be able to go over there and play. Would be my thought, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Well, it's really cool that they're doing this. The guy's got some big balls to give it a try. Taking baseball to a bat ball area of the world, but it's bat ball cricket, and try to convince people that, hey, this can be another sport that you can follow. It's a ballsy move on his part. And Cash, I know you got a chance to spend some time with him or meet him, and I understand he treated you and everyone else pretty well, and his vision is pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, they did a great job. They had a lot of hoops to jump through to get it off the ground, to get it to Dubai, and just getting us all out there. And there's a lot of guys kind of in my shoes that are married now, and never knowing if you're going to get back over there or not. Wanting to bring the wives, and they did a great job, setting it all up, taking care of us, taking care of the wives, and put on a show. We had a great Thanksgiving dinner out there at the Polo Club they put on for us. So
Wow. And
That's awesome.
Dubai can't be any more luxurious than that, and to just be a player that's still just trying to hang in there and try to keep making rosters to have that opportunity is pretty cool.
right, yeah, it was awesome. And there's a lot of guys in my shoes. I think I think they had 50 guys over there. I think 29 had service time. And like you said, whether it was somebody that think they got the short end of the stick or injuries or whatever it might be, where it's like, all right, this is a really cool opportunity to keep playing and Dubai and see what happens.
Yeah. So what is the vibe like there, kind of amongst the players once everyone's arriving, getting to the field? Are guys, and just during the whole and after the experience, are guys like, wow, this is super cool. And back when I was in the minors, I had to deal with all this bullshit, and this is amazing. Or like people just super stoked to be there and playing. Like, what's the kind of vibe like amongst all the players?
I mean, as far as I know, everyone loved it. We did. We were out there a week. We had the 2 games. We had our workouts the 4 days leading up to it. Um, they put on a couple of dinners for us, but also gave guys some free time to kind of just go explore. And I know guys are pumped about that. I mean, probably I might have been the only one that's ever seen it Dubai before. So everyone was coming back. You know, we get to the field and be like, "Oh, I went and did this, and it was awesome." And I know some of the guys went and did the whatever dune buggies out in the desert, rode camels. So I know a lot of guys, you know, took in as much as they could in that week.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds like they're doing a great job over there. And, you know, for me personally, just being a fan of baseball, I love seeing the game getting spread in different parts of the world and just growing. And, you know, we saw how much this new Live Golf League is shaking up golf and been a huge factor. And, you know, it'll be very interesting to see what happens with Baseball United. I hope to see it grow and expand. More guys get a chance to play and get paid for it. You know, AJ, we really appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience and being a guest here on the Sandlot and the Crew. And we're going to go ahead and wrap this segment up. Again, AJ, thank you so much. Mr. Tad Powers, always a legend.
Andrew Jeffrey Schugel, thanks for being a guest on the Sandlot once again.
Hey,
and we're going to have you back in the spring when it's radio, and we'll have to watch our mouths because then we're going to have to deal with the FCC.
I feel like I did pretty good today.
You did really well.
You did great.
Me and Will dropped a couple just to make it lighter because you were really like almost too straight.
Well, I want to be good now so I don't mess up later. So
yeah,
I
hear you, buddy.
I do enough around the house.
No, you did a great job. Don't let Tad talk shit to you right now. And we'll definitely be watching you over there and keeping track and rooting for you, wishing you nothing but the best, man. So really appreciate you coming on, and thank you everybody for watching Sandlot and the Crew, or Sandlot Radio Show meets Wrecking Yard Baseball and Softball. I'm your host, Will Kiger, our other host, Tad Powers, and today's guest, AJ Schugel. We will see you guys on the next one.